What up, positive vibrators tuning in around the world? In today's episode, we have Shaine, aka Stay2Quiet, reppin Murray, Kentucky. He talks about his new album called We Won, how his recent breakup inspired this project, and his thoughts on the current climate of the world. Hope you guys enjoy this episode.
The burnt egg roll?
What you blazing? You have any flowers?
I do not have any flowers on me.
No flowers.
All I got is this little lung killer right here.
Is that nicotine or is that THC in there?
This is Nick. This is a vape called Mr. Fog Pog.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird name for a fucking vape company.
All right. Next time we have you on, man, you got to smoke some weed with me.
I can try, man.
Are you pretty open as far as like your drug usage? And I wouldn't even say drug, your medicine usage.
Well, you know, my mom and my dad know. However, my grandma doesn't.
Does your grandma blaze trees?
No, my grandma's like one of them sober ladies. Like,
how old is she?
I don't think you'll ever catch her rolling a dude. Like 66, 7, maybe somewhere around there.
Did you ever ask her if she ever smoked weed before?
She told me she smoked cigarettes before. She didn't like it.
You should cop some edibles and then maybe like mix it into like her food one day and see how she feels. But don't tell her.
Fucked up shit.
You ever seen this comedy movie called Grandma's Boy?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I think it's an old Adam Sandler movie. I forgot if he was in it, but he produced that movie, his production company. But it's about this dude.
Happy Gilmore?
Yeah. The same dude from Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler. But he made this movie called Grandma's Boy, and it's about this dude that works at a video game company. He creates new video games, and like he lives with his grandma, and his grandma, I think he gets her high or she smokes weed. It's a crazy movie, but I was just thinking about that right now. I was like, man, it'd be pretty crazy to see your grandma high, man. It might change your perspective on life.
I don't know why you thinking about my grandma getting high and shit. But, you know, I guess the universe was like, hey, you know what? Let's just talk about Shaine's grandma getting high. Shit.
Roach, that's your no relation to Freddie Roach. That's your real last name, Roach.
That's the real last name right there.
What about this rap name for you, man? Roach Clip.
Right now, the universe has me as Stay2Quiet. Maybe down the line.
How did you come up with that name, Stay2Quiet?
I've had a lot of like emotional trauma and whatnot through my life. You know, when it comes to relationships with women, you know, my father, you know, like my father, you know, he did meth, right? And I'm open about that. You know, and instead of he was very talkative. Like he wasn't quiet, but it felt like the person that I knew as him was quiet. And then as far as like the relationship part, you know, and I would tell my girlfriend at the time everything, right? And then she wouldn't open up to me with that same, you know, generosity or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So,
you know, everybody in my life, you know, has just been too quiet, you know, and that basically how Stay2Quiet
Got you.
in here.
Do you feel like that's a name that you see like being in the bright lights and stars like in the future moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like with the generation, you know how like depression is very, I wouldn't say like trendy, but I would say like open sort of thing. You know, and also, you know, what's going on with like racism and, you know, like rape allegations and whatnot, you know, everybody's just being really quiet and whatnot. So, you know, I know what it's like to not like speak up, you know, because you feel uncomfortable in an environment and whatnot. I think everybody has, you know, if you've gone through that in a scenario or whatever. So, you know, whenever I think of my name now, Stay2Quiet, I think of those type of people. Like I'm standing up, or I'm trying to represent those type of people, because it's not right really to just be quiet. You know, no matter what situation you're in, you should have the power or the confidence in order to stand up for yourself, you know?
Yeah. I think it's important to like kind of like pick and choose your battles too, though, and when to speak up and when to be quiet. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
we have to know our numbers. Like there's always strength in numbers. So you could be right in your mind. You could be totally right with what you believe, but if the masses or the majority, I would say the majority, is against you, it's going to be hard for you to change their mind. You know what I mean? But it always starts with one person, but at the same time you have to build and, you know, plan, kind of like Sun Tzu, the art of war. You got to know when it's time to attack and when it's time to fall back.
You know, it's kind of hard to get like the people's approval because there's like so many other different types of people, you know, based off like how they react or like how they, you know, respond to things. And, you know, there's pros and cons to that, really. But you know, sometimes, you know, when all you see is cons about people, or you nitpick everybody, like, you know, it's kind of hard to like see like what are the pros in that. However, I do like, you know, people that are unique. I do like people that aren't like copycats or anything of that nature. Yeah. So, you know, there's also that pro, but besides that, I can't think of any others.
Yeah. What was it like for you growing up in Murray, Kentucky? I've never been there before. So how would you describe Murray, Kentucky?
Well, Murray, Kentucky, really, there wasn't really much, you know. It's a very small town. It's still a very small town. It has a little bit of more popularity because of Ja Morant and, you know, Cameron Payne and Isaiah Cannon. You know, we have great NBA talent from here.
Did you ever see any of these dudes ball, you know, in real life?
No, they never went to our high school. They just got recruited from other schools.
Are there any like notable people like that have made it like mainstream that's from Murray, Kentucky that you can think of?
AEW wrestler Chuck Taylor was born here.
He's a wrestler?
He's a wrestler, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He wrestles for Tony Khan's company over at TNT and whatnot.
Got you.
But besides that, we also have the first ever skating rink to have ramps. Like no other skating rink has like ramps or anything. And
when you say
it got shut down,
when you say
because
is it like an ice skating rink or skate park, like skateboarding?
It's basically like rollerblades. It's like an indoor, you know, skating rink.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Okay.
It's not like an ice rink or anything.
But it has ramps.
So yeah, it has ramps. It's the only one with ramps.
Interesting.
In the United States, which.
But you said it got cool. You said it got shut down?
Yeah, it got shut down. The owner, you know, he's very nitpicky. He's from the military and whatnot. So he's been trying to sell it, but people who are trying to sell it is like the college, Murray State. They want to turn it into a parking lot. Joe, the owner, he doesn't want it to turn into a parking lot. He doesn't want that to happen, really.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what to do.
So what was your childhood like?
You know, childhood, it was very weird. I had a lot of phases. As far as my interest, I liked Blue's Clues, Ben 10. I had a weird fascination about Justin Bieber.
Bieber's dope, man. I fucks with Justin Bieber, man.
I'm fucking with Justin Bieber now.
He's a dope artist.
I didn't fuck with Justin Bieber for a couple of years, and I eventually fell back into him. So there was also my wrestling addiction. Like, I gotta thank my cousin for that, because like I always wanted to be like, there's somebody in your life that there's like a family member that you want to be like so bad, and my cousin was one of them.
He's older than you?
And he put me on the wrestling. He's like 3 years older than me.
Oh, okay. Did you watch WrestleMania 37? Yeah, we were talking about that shit.
I loved it, man.
Yeah,
I know we were talking about it. You didn't watch night 2.
Night 2, I had to record an episode with Dr. Bombay, so I missed it. I only saw like a little bit of Randy Orton fighting early on, but I missed the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it was good though.
Night 1 was better than night 2, so you didn't really miss jack shit. You know, you're all right.
The shit because I watch UFC, so the shit about like wrestling, man.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of UFC, did you hear Conor's not fighting Dustin though?
Oh, he pulled out, or the other dude pulled out?
Conor pulled out. Conor said He was it was something about charity. Conor was like, you know what? I'll donate to your charity, but since you were bugging me about it, I'll find somebody else to fight on July 10th.
He just didn't want to get that work, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, you know, I am a big Conor fan, but Dustin did, you know, give him that work. I don't know if you watched One, you know, like there's another MMA place called One. It's on TNT. But Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, do you know who that is?
Heard of the name, but I can't.
He's a flyweight.
Okay.
He was a flyweight. He was on like Metro PCS commercials and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Anyways, last Thursday, Demetrius Johnson got knocked the fuck out in the second round. Dude, like he was like on the ground, and then out of nowhere, this fucking big skinny guy just gave him a fucking knee, and then that motherfucker was seeing stars and shit. It was like so fucking crazy. Just boom.
Yeah.
Out cold.
Yeah. I fucks with UFC a little bit more than wrestling because I feel like it's a little bit more real. Like this, I was gonna say when I was watching WrestleMania, because I haven't watched wrestling in many years. Like I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid, man. Yeah. Monday Night Raw when Bret the Hitman Hart was fighting and Shawn Michaels and back in like the 90s and shit.
Hell yeah.
But like I haven't watched it for a while. But then when I was watching it, you know, Waleed was hyping it up in the live stream, so I was like, all right, let me check this out. And when I saw when I saw night one, and there was, you know how the dudes they're big and buff, but when the first fight, who was the black dude? He had him in a like a hold like this, and the big other the white dude was
the Hurt Lock.
Yeah, he was just standing here with his arms like this, and he was going like this, trying to get out. I was like, oh, kid, this shit fake, man.
That black dude actually fought in Bellator.
Oh, he did? There's some wrestlers that switch back and forth, right, between UFC and wrestling, like even like Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah, Brock. CM Punk didn't have the best, you know, experience with the UFC.
It's kind of crazy though, the amount of like popularity that like wrestling has though, you know, even though people know it's like scripted. I mean, there's still like, you still got to be athletic to do those kind of moves and jump off shit. I don't know about the world, but around the country, like it seems like there's a lot of fans.
If you want to look at like other like wrestling companies, like independent companies, like matches online, you'll see like people getting power bombed on their fucking neck and going through like barbed wire and fucking explosions and going through tables and shit. But you know, WWE, it's like, you know, they're trying to keep a PG audience and whatnot and all that bullshit. So, you know, they don't really do anything too crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting into wrestling yourself?
I was about 8 or 9. I made a promise to my 3rd grade buddy that we would be WWE Tag Team Champions. Then that next year, he moved schools. So.
You got to go solo, man.
Roman Reigns, I'm coming for you, man.
So you're not close with your parents?
Close with my mom. You know, it's crazy because like my mom, she's been sober for 3 years. She actually got married on the 3rd. So shout out to moms. I asked her, I was like, when are you going to stop, you know, doing like dope and shit? You know what I mean?
When you say
and that
dope,
day she stopped.
When you say dope, what are you talking about?
She did all kinds of drugs. Like she's an addict, you know. She like if she takes one, she's gonna want to experiment with a lot, you know. Mm-hmm. She had a very bad alcohol problem. She thought she could handle weed, but she couldn't. You know, there's just people that are like that just can't handle it.
Yeah,
that have a tolerance level and whatnot. That's why I only smoke like once a month.
Yeah, just
because I'm afraid of that, because of my genes and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You know, my mom's been clean ever since I asked her, when you going to stop doing it? And, you know, if it probably wasn't for her, I probably would probably be with my dad right now doing meth in a fucking trailer or some fucking bullshit and whatnot.
So do you live with your grandma or you live with one of your parents?
I live with my grandmother. I'm moving in with my mother soon because she just got a new house. It's 3 stories, you know, with her new husband and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Is it still in Kentucky, Murray?
Just waiting on that. Yeah, it's still. It's like 30 minutes away.
Got you. What was your thoughts when COVID was happening almost a year ago when it started?
My initial thought was like, oh, 2-week break, like spring break's early and it's longer. And then, I'm kind of actually grateful. This sounds fucked up, but I'm kind of actually grateful for how long this pandemic has lasted. Not because of the way it's affected lives and whatnot, but it made me like, take a deep dive into myself, and the things I do that are not okay. The things I do that are just strange and out of pocket. It made me like look back and, just like take a look in the mirror and be like, yo, why the hell do you do this? You know what I mean? Like it's just like an eye opener experience for me and whatnot. And I went through so many different phases. I went through about like 2 or 3 phases. Like I was bald and, I shot a music video on a shitty ass iPhone 6S, and then there was time. And then I think December, ever since the car crash, my buddy Noah, he got into a car crash. I don't know if I told you this or not.
Oh, damn.
But
Sorry to hear about that, man.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
Yeah, it really fucked me. Yeah, he's fine now. But he was in the hospital for about a month. And, his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister was a driver. The truck didn't have any headlights that wrecked into him. And he went into him head first on the side. And it ended up with his girlfriend's dog dying, and his girlfriend's sister is still in the hospital right now, and she's not going to be out until December. She had to get her head shaved and everything, and she just looks completely different than how she did before, basically. So it's really like a very devastating thing for her family. It's like a really fucked up experience, and I would hate to go through that. Really, I wouldn't know how to react.
Sorry to hear about that, man. I feel you though on that. Like with COVID, yeah, it's I that's how I feel too, man. It's like an unfortunate like a situation for a lot of people, but then it did, I'm sure, give some people some more time to like think about themselves, because you really can't go out and do too much. So the only voice you can really listen to is the voice inside your own head, right?
Absolutely. It just took time for you to like, to take self-care in yourself and, to stop worrying about like others' opinions or like, perceptions of life. You took time to, actually like have value within yourself. And I think that's like a main problem with our generation is that we're just so try to be so in tune with like being somebody or something to the point where we forget, the value of life that we have and the qualities and, the traits and, the personalities that we grew up on.
I agree. How do you feel like Donald J. Trump handled the COVID and the protests last year?
Honestly, I hate to say this, but I really, I didn't really have a problem, with Trump or like politics. Not even the pandemic. It's just the way he handled the Black Lives Matter situation, just saying, oh, we're going to spray you or we're going to, kill you or something like that if you try to do this or try to do that, instead of like listen to the, the outroar and the, irony and the traumatic impact that it had on Black lives. Like I have a Black sister, right? And, she's from Chicago. And, for Donald to basically say like, not like technically say it, but like show it in his actions that, my sister's life isn't important. It just really took a toll on me and really made me open my eyes to see how much of a, scumbag Donald Trump is. And that's just my personal opinion, and I have, and my stepdad's family, supports Trump and whatnot. But, when I'm with them, we don't talk about political views whatsoever. We don't. and I respect theirs and they respect mine. It's just like, I think it's fucking crazy because Obama said at a fucking protest that they left a pandemic playbook for when shit like this happens, and they didn't fucking use it. I just find that fucking, like, it's like, you know, having the instructions to something you don't know how the fuck to build. You're just like,
what do you
like, the fuck? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
It was a weird time at that time because what I remember, this is how I remember it, is like, you know, Kobe Bryant, he passed away at the end of January last year. And then, but right at that same time when he passed away, there was reports about COVID already. But for like a straight week, like everybody was mourning Kobe Bryant, you know, and that's what it was in the news. That was like the main headline. But COVID was there already. You know, if you go back and check the dates on the reports of when COVID first was reported on, they knew about it. But I guess it might be hard, or it was probably hard for them to say how fast and how quickly it could spread.
I think I think they knew about it, but the first like positive test in the NBA was in March. So I think it was happening in like China or like wherever it first started.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, it's not here yet. We're not gonna fucking worry about it. Like, it's a deadly fucking virus and it's killing multiple people. And you're just like, it's not here. Fuck it. Like, it just doesn't make like logical sense to me. Like, how can you be a leader of a country and you know that your country could be fucking like going through another like flu like disaster, killing 5 million people, and you're just like, fuck it. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Really.
If you were president at that time, president of the United States of America, how would you have handled that situation?
I would have started mask mandates around beginning February, because that's right after when Kobe died. And I would force, I'd force, you know, hand sanitizer. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even have like Walmart's open. I'd probably have only the self pickup, you know?
Yeah.
You know, everything would just be pickup. You know, you wouldn't be able to exit your car or anything of that nature. I would have you get tested every 3 days, probably reasonably about 3 days. And
travel bans, probably.
I don't know.
I think that's the biggest thing. You know, that I feel like
travel bans
didn't happen like right away. Is when, you know, this virus is foreign. It's coming from China. Like, I would have immediately shut off all travel from China. I'd be like, any Chinese motherfuckers or any people traveling from China, you got to stay your ass there for now until this shit gets cleared up.
Yeah. Plus, also the way Trump interviewed that woman, asking her to go ask China about that. I thought that was like honestly fucking idiotic. Like I get it. Like, it's a virus. However, it's a virus inside of your fucking country now. So stop acting like, oh, that's China's problem. No, it's fucking not. It's America's fucking problem.
Yeah.
It's the whole fucking world's fucking problem. You're too far up your fucking ass to the point where you can't admit, hey, we have a fucking problem. Oh, we need to open up the economy. No, we need to open up our fucking noses and take a fucking test. And if we're sick, go the fuck home.
I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump hater. Like, I'm indifferent. Like, I feel like he's a good entertainer. If he was a wrestler, he'd be great because he talks a lot of shit, right? But for like for a president, like, I don't know if he's the best choice to lead a country. You know what I mean?
And the media will tell him how he acts and he'll fucking deny it. But yet again, like, you didn't even go to the fucking inauguration. You fucking petty little shit.
Doesn't it make you wonder, though, that, like, why, like, there's a lot of people that support Trump, you know, and by the polls and elections, like, you know, out of all the people that voted in this country, and less than half of the people in America, they actually go out and vote, you know, but like the half that did or the less than half that did, like a lot of them voted for Trump, almost half. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do you think about that?
If it wasn't for the pandemic and if it wasn't for the Black Lives Matter thing, I don't think there would have been like so many fucking votes.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like nobody cared. Well, our generation didn't really care about voting until all of the problems happened, you know, because like, let's not lie. I'm not just saying this because he's black, but when, you know, Obama was in office, I mean, did we really like, was there really any stress in life? Really? But keep in mind, I was pretty young when this happened. I don't even remember Bush's run.
Right.
Don't even remember that.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Like, I only knew around
I think
2015, 2016.
Yeah, I think even for me, like, I'm not that big into politics, man. Like, I like talking shit about it, you know, but it's like, I didn't really like look deep into it until like last year, really, you know. I was always aware, but like, even like George Bush, when George Bush was in office, George W. Bush, I was in high school. But when you're in high school, you don't really worry about politics, you know. Then when Obama was in office, I was in Korea, and I was focused on myself, you know, just trying to make money and you know, get fucked up and get bitches. That's all I was trying to do, man. I didn't care who was in office.
Facts.
But as you get older, once you hit your 30s and shit, I feel like it becomes more of a thing amongst your peers, I should say. At the end of the day, you know, it's politics as usual, I think. It does, I think, in world events like what happened last year with the pandemic and the protests, I feel like it does matter more, like who's leading, or who's at least the face of your country.
100%.
Like, how are they making the general population feel during these trials and tribulations? And I don't feel like Trump did a good job of showing like empathy and sympathy towards people that have family members dying from COVID.
He didn't even do like an effort at all. Basically, him caring about this Black Lives Matter is like me and my foundations in engineering class. I have a fucking 0 in that shit. Basically, what that motherfucker basically did. Basically, the amount of effort I put into a class is what he did about the Black Lives Matter.
I see why they like Trump, because I feel like they're worried about their money. They're worried about themselves, and they're worried about their taxes, right? They're like, oh, well, he's saving us money on taxes. And I'm like, when you really, if I don't want to explain these tax laws to you, but like,
yes, like Biden already said, like, if you don't make over 400,000, your taxes are not gonna increase.
Yeah.
Plus, he's given us like fucking $1,400, and the Democratic Party is already thinking about doing monthly stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you worried about money?
Yeah.
Money is not a fucking issue.
Yeah.
We're eating good right fucking now. Honestly.
Yeah, with the taxes though, like, I feel like if you really look at how many people make over like 400K a year in America, it's such a small percent. So the people that are complaining about their taxes, they're fighting mighty hard for the wealthy off of principle. So I complain about these tax laws, but it doesn't really affect me. But I'm fighting for all the wealthy people that make over 400K a year. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, like real talk. Like I don't even like I wouldn't even call myself a Biden supporter, but like, you know, when you're in a predicament where you have to choose, you know, who do you think is going to lead your country, you know, in a better way, in a better perspective, you know, no matter, you know, what you don't like about them or anything. What I don't really appreciate, and this is probably going to get controversial about the intergender, you know, sports and things. It's not that I have a problem with, you know, girls playing football or like boys doing cheerleading. I just think, you know, the locker rooms and situations like that, you know, you know how teenage boys are, you know, I'm one, you know, and we're not the brightest, nor are we the most, you know, respectful. So, you know, if there's a way to like, if we got to make like they, them fucking bathroom in order for people to enjoy the sport that they love, then I'm willing to do that. but it's just like taking it to an extent where it's like, uh, where's the attack helicopter bathroom or some like bullshit like that? Like,
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off. When you really think about how many transgender people there are, like going to like high school and colleges, it's not that many, man. It's really not that many. Like, you might have a few, but I don't know. Do you know any transgenders in Murray, Kentucky?
I know a lot of gays and lesbians. As far as transgender, I did know one, but they don't go there. They don't go to my school anymore.
Yeah.
Besides that,
and when we say transgender, like that's almost like unless they're changing like their body parts, like I feel like they're just either gay or bisexual, man, or lesbian.
yeah,
That's how I feel, So I feel like they should go into like whatever restroom or bathroom or locker room that is assigned to their is what they were born with, unless they physically
yeah,
change their parts, right? Their private parts, then it's like, all right, hold
yeah.
on.
It's not like I have any problem with them playing sports. I'm very precautious about like their safety and whatnot because rape allegations are a very like high topic in today's society, and I feel like those topics would increase even more, based off just because a girl just wants to play sports.
I feel like it's always different when a man goes down and plays like a woman's sport. You know what I'm saying? Because physically they're stronger, I think, by nature. So any type of sport that requires physical competition, like the man is naturally going to have the advantage. I don't think we'll see like a woman, and not to sound sexist, but I don't think we'll see a woman play in the NBA. It's just not physically possible, I think, They're, they because there's always going to be a dude that's better than a woman in basketball, I think, if
100%.
But
I mean,
but
unless
a
it's
man can
like,
go down. A man can go down, but that wouldn't be fair though.
what's her name? What's that tall girl that's always on TNT?
Candace Parker, but still, even Candace
Candace
Parker,
Parker.
even
Like if it's like Parker versus like Isaiah Thomas, then yeah, maybe.
I would
But
put my money.
besides that,
I would put my money on Isaiah Thomas though.
you'd put your money on Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I think.
Are we talking like prime Isaiah Thomas, or are we talking about like now Isaiah Thomas?
I'm talking about probably now. I don't think Isaiah Thomas. I think if they played 1v1, I think Isaiah Thomas would beat Candace Parker.
I don't know about that. It depends. Like if Isaiah's just shooting middies and threes, and yeah, but like as far as that paint, Candace got that locked.
I wouldn't.
She's like 6.
Yeah. She's kind of sexy though, right? I wouldn't mind guarding Candace Parker in the paint.
We gonna edit that out. We don't edit that out.
Now you say you have a black sister. She's your half sister?
Yeah, we have the same mom, but
Oh, you have the same mom. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So your stepdad is African American?
Technically, yeah, if you want to call him my stepdad.
Have you personally experienced any type of racism in Murray, Kentucky?
A lot. And I'll admit it, some of it, at a time in my life, some of it was from me, because, I wasn't really educated on situations about problematic racism, at a time like 2016 through 2018, everybody just, said what they wanted to say. There was really no repercussions for it, I'll admit I have said some pretty, nasty things. And I've also, said it just because I thought it was cool. I just wasn't educated, on the amount of racism that, I was spreading, the toxicity and whatnot. And, now it's just like completely different because, I just think about, the people that, that I look up to, such as like my sister, LeBron, just the amount of music that I listen to, the culture that, I get most of my, lyricism, creativity, just different forms of life, So it really made me like, open my eyes and be like, my manager's black, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, it just,
when you say
nowadays,
when you say your manager, you mean your like real manager or like your girl?
My real manager.
Oh, okay. Got you.
It's not any intimacy whatsoever. I can be friends with women and not be like sexually attracted. Yeah, there's a lot of people that can't, and I used to be that way. Like young me, I couldn't be just friends with a fucking girl. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, because I call my girl my manager, so I just wanted to clarify that you were talking about your real work manager, and not your intimate partner. Mm-hmm. But you said your
manager. She's in my Instagram bio. She's a cool person. Plus, she's a black supremacist, so she doesn't date white guys. So
You said she's a black supremacist, but is that fair that she can be an open black supremacist and be like, okay, that's cool because she's for the black people, but then when somebody's like, I'm a white supremacist, they're like, oh, this motherfucker's racist.
Based off like how much torment, the African American community have been through, I don't really care. Like if you want to be a black supremacist, you have the right, because I understand, the amount of trauma us white people can put on other people just because they're different in their own unique way. And I think it's very like fucked up, in my opinion. It's just very disrespectful and irate,
Yeah. But there's some like middle class, like Caucasian people, and not even just Caucasian, I would say middle class people, that there's even, I think, middle class like black people that are making a certain amount of money, and they say that the black community should just get over slavery and get over everything, and racism doesn't really exist. Like, how do you feel about that?
The fact that people say like racism doesn't exist, that's, there's a lot of it, believe it or not. It's just like, you may not be able to see it for like, like a month maybe, but then boom, next thing you know, another black man shot, or another Asian man drug off of an airplane, or another Mexican being whatever. It's just like a bunch of forms of like, and like there's also like a bunch of like idiotic Republicans. This has nothing to do with race, but like motherfuckers will be like, oh, why do I need to wear a mask? I could wear a seatbelt and still fucking die. Like, what? Like, that don't make no sense. But, I just find it not really like, I find it disrespectful, but I also find it as the person being uneducated when somebody says that racism still doesn't exist, because it's existed for so long, because we've had things such as slavery, and we've had things such as, blacks, whites only stores and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it's just fucking idiotic to me when somebody says something along the lines of that.
Like if you get on Wikipedia and like look up the demographics of Murray, Kentucky, like what do you think it would be, like Caucasian to African American?
Kentucky's a very just racist state in general,
Yeah, it has its history. It has a history. But do you feel like it's getting better around you?
As far as like younger, like us younger, we there's a lot of Facebook posts I've seen, of a lot of people. There's a lot of people doing protests in Murray, actually. There's a lot of people that want to change this town, because the country or white people have just made this town very racist. And, we want to teach our kids, when we have our kids, that color is, unique. It's not, something to divide. Mm-hmm. It's something to, just embrace. Honestly, if my kid was racist, I don't think I can say this on YouTube, but just know I wouldn't be a happy camper.
Yeah.
I'd probably fly down my sister from Chicago, and
I think a lot of times, like kids, they're just programmed by their environment, like what they see and hear around them from a young age.
Yeah.
So I think if you have a kid and you once they can start remembering things around like 3 years old, 4 years old, then it's important like what kind of information they're downloading into their brain. So if you're giving them the right information, positive information, and how to think and act properly to other human beings around them, I feel like your kids will be all right. So
100%.
it's just a lot of like the mental programming that people get. We went down a journey of like politics and race and COVID, man. Yeah. It's a real thing, and I think you have some interesting perspectives on it. You feeling okay though?
I'm feeling all right. Feeling a little bit relieved, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always wanted to talk about these topics and whatnot. So,
yeah.
The fact that I have the platform to do it now, it's kind of great.
Yeah. I'm the way I think about like politics and race and a lot of the world issues, like I think about it and I'm like, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the world, but it's like we just have to speak about it openly. I think a lot of people, like you said, they just want to stay too quiet, man, but you gotta voice your opinion, man, and not be afraid to stand by your word. I feel like there's a lot of people that will talk shit, but I feel like they won't openly express how they feel.
There was actually a protest, a Black Lives Matter protest. Someone pulled up in the Trump hat, but actually the Trump hat said, "Made you look, bitch, Black Lives Matter." That shit had me fucking geeked out of my mind. I was like, fucking rock on, dude.
That's pretty dope, man. I was thinking about making a red hat with white text that says "Make 2K great again," and wear it on the stream.
Shit, man.
But my thing is, whatever side people want to take, and I don't feel like you have to take any side if you don't want to. Left side, the Democrats, or the right side, the Republicans. You don't have to take either side. You could just say I'm indifferent. There's nothing wrong with that, or saying
exactly. Like, I don't have a problem with like Trump supporters or Republicans or any of that. I just have a problem with Trump, the way he handled it, not the way Republicans handled it or the way, Trump supporters handled it. I don't give a shit who you support. It's not like I'm telling you, hey, support this person. It's just basically my perspective about how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I don't have a problem with you for who you support. You have your voting right or you have your preference. And that's when that's the thing. My aunt, she was like, we were all at Christmas. They were talking about Trump. And I was like, I looked over at my cousin. I was like, I'm the only person in this family that doesn't like Trump. She's like, you're not old enough to vote yet. I was like, yeah, I'm not old enough to vote yet. But however, I am old enough to go ahead and notice the things going on in my democracy and what's going on in my country. So I could give a shit less if I have the power to vote. Really. Mm-hmm. She's like, you can have your opinion. I was like, yeah, you just ignored everything I said before the word opinion. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's one thing, man. With politics, it's never good to get into it with like family and friends. I've seen politics break family and friends a lot. It happens even with my family, man, because I have some family members that are pro-Trump, and I always think in my head, like, I'll be surprised if this person like openly supports Trump. That's why whenever they talk shit, like I don't even like get that emotional about it, because I know these motherfuckers wouldn't rock a MAGA hat to the grocery store.
God.
But yeah, like it's just like opinions, right? People can talk shit all they want, that's how I feel. Like people can say whatever they want, but it's up to me or you or whoever's listening to say, do I want to make it feel me? Do I want what they say to make me feel bad? You know what I mean? Once that other person knows what it is that bugs you, they're going to keep pressing you on the same issue, right?
It's kind of like me when I got high yesterday, right? We were in the car, right? And they kept opening the fucking trunk, like the driver, just to piss me off. So I'd go out and close it, and the next thing you know, the passenger seat's fucking locked.
Yeah. People are like that.
Oh my fucking God. And I'm high out of my fucking mind. And I just look fucking stupid banging on this fucking door. Plus, they turned the car alarm on. So now I look like a fucking intruder. So now I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like, why can...
Yeah. Don't you think human beings are funny like that, man? Like once they know what presses someone's buttons, they'll keep doing it over and over. Like I'll do that shit too sometimes, but never in a malicious way. Like if I feel like I'm pressing them too hard and they're getting hurt, then I'll pull back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah,
if they're a good sport, I'll keep pressing them because it's just funny.
Sometimes I've gotten mad before, like real mad, where it's to the point like I've like left. And shit, but there's also like times where I'm like sarcastically fucking like calling them shit, like, oh, you fucking asshole, I fucking hope you fucking die and shit. And I'm just like, I fucking hate you so much. And then I'll join back the conversation like nothing happened and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke this weed right now, and then we'll get into your music. We'll start talking about your music. Like I've been listening to your album. Like I listened to it today. I listened to it like a few days ago when I was talking to you, and it's pretty good. It's not bad. Like I think it's actually well produced. Like I see that you work with a lot of the same producers that on the album. Like they produce multiple tracks on there, so that's why I feel like it's a very concise album. It's like it flows well. You know how like there's some artists that they use every song, they have a different producer, so every song sounds different, which is okay. There's variety, but like it doesn't sound like a full album. It sounds like a playlist, or just a random bunch of songs on there by the same artist with featured guests. But your album, it's you have like maybe like 3 to 4 different producers on there, so the sound is very tight, so the concept is strong. And then your lyrics, you do a mix of like singing and rapping, and so it sounds good, man. It's actually not bad. I personally like I wrote them down so I didn't forget the names. Like I like the first track, Ace of Spades, is good. I like the last track, Gang Go. I like the production on it. BB Demons is good, Gossip is good, and Rehab is good. So those are the tracks that I fuck with. But I'm gonna blaze these trees, and then we'll get into your album and your music and how you create and stuff.
Just make sure you blow the smoke out the door.
Cheers. I wish you could smoke weed with me right now, but maybe on the next episode when you get ready to drop your next album, we'll make sure you have your weed ready, man, so we can get in, go deep on some high thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Hopefully.
Doesn't like weed, when you smoke weed, it like helps you like get in the present moment?
Honestly, like whenever I'm high, I don't listen to a fucking conversation. I look fucking straight, or I was just like, when I was high yesterday, I was just like this, like, and I was chewing my gums. I was just chewing my gums and shit. I was just like, and then I started playing the drums. Like I was playing that fucking song by AC/DC, fucking Thunderstruck or some bullshit. And then I was like rapping the Baby. I was like, hey, back in the mail, it's gone. I was like, I don't fucking listen to this fucking music. What am I doing?
But doesn't it? But it makes you like, it makes you feel good. It makes you like lock into whatever you're doing at the moment. Whatever you're doing, it could be anything. Like rapping to the Baby, or listening to music, or watching a movie, or cooking food. When you do it while you're high, you just kind of like tap into whatever you're doing, and you're locked in just for that present moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could feel my brain, like, but I couldn't feel my face. Like if I got rocked, I could probably feel it, but like at the same time I couldn't. Like a part of me would feel it, and then another part of me wouldn't. I kind of felt like out of body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
I felt like
that's a good thing.
The Holy Spirit was taking me out.
Yeah, that's good, man. Because sometimes you know what that means, man. When that happens, is that like you're getting rid of your ego. Like your ego is separating. Your mind is separating from your body. So you lose ego for that split second while you're high.
Mm.
So you're more in touch with your senses and your way of thinking. You know, whatever you're doing. So I think that's the good thing about weed is that, you know, when you get too egotistical and you blaze trees, like it kind of brings you back to reality, and you're like, all right, that shit ain't that serious, you know, it's all good. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, I can relate.
When you're stressed out, like I think that's why it's kind of like a good stress reliever, right?
Yeah.
So you just released your new album called We Won. What does We Won stand for? You told me in the live stream, but what does
I did tell you.
What is the acronym?
It stands for Well, Everyone Want to Open Negativity. It's basically what We Won stands for.
Before we like get into that album, like, how old were you when you first started rapping, and who inspired you to rap?
You know, I started rapping at about 11. I started making music. I actually did my songs. Like, I don't even want to call them songs, but I did like a Meek Mill diss. I did a Panda. And I did all this shit live on fucking Google Hangouts, like the fucking live streaming service that Google Hangouts has. I just do it on there. And then I evolved to rapping on PS4 Share Factory. Then I went to this thing called Mixcraft. Then I went to Audacity. And then I recorded my vocals in Audacity, and then I put them in FL Studio. Now I use FL Studio for everything. I figured out how to record in FL Studio. So basically it went from Google Hangouts to Share Factory to Mixcraft to Audacity to FL Studio. I also used OBS.
Damn, so you've been grinding for a minute, man, since you were 11 years old, huh? Like, who inspired you? Who inspired you to get into music and become an artist?
Not gonna lie, growing up in the trailer park, you know, with a crazy alcoholic family, you know, I listened to a lot of Marshall, you know, Eminem, you know, really inspired me, you know. And then, you know, as soon as like, you know, trends, you know, I stopped listening to M because, you know, M was just out of touch with everything. Plus, he just barely even released music at this time. So, yeah, I would say M would probably be my biggest inspiration.
What was your first Eminem album or song that you heard?
It's probably Not Afraid.
That's one of my favorite Eminem songs of all time.
Then, you know, I got his album. That M's album. It was the one. Shit, I don't even know. Marshall LV or something like that. It was like a brown house. It was his album that came out in 2014. I want to say.
Oh, okay. That's the Marshall Mathers LP 2.
I think it's the one behind you.
Oh yeah. That's Marshall Mathers LP 2. Yeah. That shit I like that because that when I look at that motivates me to say, yo, Eminem came from that house back there to where he's at today, right? Because he never quit or he never gave up on himself.
I think one of my dreams is probably to have a song with him, probably, you know, based off the, you know, impact he had in my life. You know, it would be cool, you know, just to sit there and, you know, like reminisce with him while I'm with Mike Tyson smoking a blunt one day. You know, that would. When
that happens, call me. I'm coming with you, man.
All right, I'll make sure.
If you can bring a guest, man.
I'll be like, hey, man, that Asian guy is not crazy. He actually knows me, I swear.
That's a hate crime.
That ain't right, man. Hey, we talked about this on my podcast. I knew this day would come. Man.
That's right, man. We just spoke it into existence right now.
But 2 years from now, I'm gonna call it.
I believe in you, man.
I just manifested it. We just manifested.
Yeah, like you're speaking that shit into existence right now. So you're saying like, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of rappers that I want to collab with. You know, my boy Fago. So Fago, I tell you about him all the time. He actually signed with Cactus Jack Records, so he's probably going to be on Utopia, most likely.
Dope.
So that's going to be great. Somebody that I used to know, somebody that I know. You know, I followed bro. I followed bro since 3,000 subs. 3,000 followers on Instagram, you know, which I think is like kind of crazy. Like I know that guy and I seen him come from the ground up. And, you know, I don't have the best, you know, altercations or like conversations with him, but those are resolved. You know, we don't think about those anymore. He wished me a happy birthday, you know, December of 2020. And that was the last time I talked to him. You know, he's genuinely a good guy. You know, he's basically like me. He came out from trailer parks and whatnot. And now he's just making his impact. And, you know, it heavily inspires me. And it's I kind of still, you know, not necessarily still, but get inspired by, you know, the way he makes his music. And I kind of try to take that into consideration because he said in multiple interviews he gets his sound from Young Thug and Chris Brown. I would get my sound from him, you know, Trippie Redd, Post. List goes on and on. You know what I mean?
What about my man Lil Peep?
You know, I'm not even gonna front just because the man died. I'm not even gonna act like I'm an OG or anything of that sort. And I don't really have a problem with Peep. I have a problem with his cringy little young fan base. They just make him look so fucking bad, you know, to the point where I just like can't, you know, like I can't like listen to his music like when I'm with a group of people because I feel like that group of people would just fucking like overplay it and just like suck his fucking dick until it turns purple and shit. It's just like I just can't like relax.
But you know that's gonna happen to you too though, man. When you become big and famous, the fans are gonna be the same way, man. So you gotta embrace that shit and say, you know, I can only control what I do. I can't worry about what my fans decide to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully I don't, you know, experiment with a bunch of drugs.
You got
on my bucket list.
Yeah, it ain't nothing wrong with experimenting with drugs, but you never want to get addicted to drugs, you know?
Yeah, I've thought about trying lean.
Yeah.
I don't know like what's all in it, but you know, I've seen people, you know, fuck with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never tried it either, man. Like I don't like being like that though, like all slow and like, oh shit, you know, like I need to be more energy. But that's just me.
Like maybe if it's like, you know, like at 12 o'clock in the morning or something, like late where like I'm not doing anything or I'm not going out or nothing. Yeah, fuck it. I'll feel slow by myself or something. You know?
Do you ever like smoke weed before you like write or record?
I don't. I told you I only smoke once a month, you know?
Yeah.
And when I do, I'm nowhere near my house. So
sorry, going back to Eminem, man. Like so Eminem, like you said that was probably the first album or song that you heard from Eminem?
Yeah, Not Afraid. What's it?
Oh, okay. So Recovery, off the Recovery album, Not Afraid.
Yeah. I didn't know what the album was called. I just know that motherfucker was just walking down the street in the cover. That's all. That's all I fucking knew. I was like, that motherfucker just walking down the street. Shit.
Yeah. You guys do have some similarities then, huh? Like he grew up in a trailer park at points in his life, and you have as well.
A lot of people like have a lot of hate on the trailer parks, you know. Like they immediately assume that everybody from a trailer park is just musty and like no good or anything of that sort. But you know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, I don't really want to identify myself as musty. I mean, I shower every day. I wash my ass. You know, I get up. I see the fucking roses. You know, I go out. You know, and I do like thing like I socialize. It's not where I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm from fucking Kentucky or some fucking bullshit like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's just,
I know. I joke about that shit on the live stream sometimes, but I understand everybody is who they think they are, right? No matter where they're from or, you know, how much money.
Yeah, because like motherfuckers will be like, oh, so you eat KFC. Motherfucker, back in 2011, my KFC got taken down for health inspections. That's the worst fucking joke you could come up with, honestly. But like, I'd be like, do you watch the Kentucky Derby? No. Motherfuckers will just think just because you're from somewhere that you do this. Oh, you're from Atlanta? You listen to Lil Baby? Like, what kind of fucking bullshit is that?
Yeah. it's just like people that never experience like things for themselves
Yeah.
in reality, they have these thoughts and ideas and stereotypes based off of what they see on the news
Yeah.
or movies or what they listen to in their music. So they they get these perceptions in their mind of what people from certain places are like, right?
Yeah, man. Hey, Brandon, you know, you're from LA, man. Did you sell your fucking soul? Like, the fuck? Like,
I
it's
did
just,
I did sell my soul.
I mean, like, if you did, uh, contact me with your soul seller.
What would you sell your soul for, if anything, in this world?
You know, probably get my dad off drugs. You know, also for my kids not to struggle.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be for like materialistic shit like money or like probably get signed to a label or like have a large fan base. But besides that, you know, money ain't shit to me. I just want to have like a certain, you know, fan base to care about. You know, probably what I do. I'd hate to sell my soul though, because you know, I'm very, you know, I wouldn't say Christian, but I do believe in God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a sacrifice to the point where I'm like, hey man, I've done all I can think about. I don't know what I can do anymore. This is my last chance, my final, you know, hope. I'd be like, man, it's time to give in. You know, I'd feel regretful, but I'd also feel, you know, a sigh of relief at the same time. You know, it wouldn't be like all negative, even though it is a negative thing to do.
You're talking about dying, right? Or selling your soul?
Selling my soul.
Oh, selling your soul.
My worst fear is death. That's the scary thing.
Why do you fear death?
I'm just afraid it'll hurt. You know, like who knows? Maybe heaven ain't like real or anything. I'm not doubting it.
Yeah.
But you know, like what if? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think death could be a beautiful thing though, man, because it's like there's something peaceful about it. But I think it's more about like the pain and fears, like how you're gonna die, right? That's what people fear.
Yeah.
Is the how, not the okay. I don't have to worry about the struggles of what we face every day in the world anymore. I can be at peace, at a final rest, you know. And
yeah, they also say like, you know, where your birthmark is at is where you got shot in your past life. My birthmark's under my ass cheek. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Also, they say newborn babies cry when they come out of the womb because they're forgetting about their past life and whatever, and they're going into a new life or whatever.
Yeah.
Or some bullshit like that. I forgot exactly what it was. But there's a lot of conspiracy theories about life itself.
Do you think there's aliens out there?
100%. I don't think they're on Earth. I realize how small we are. There's 100% other forms of fucking life.
Yeah.
Based off how tiny we are. There are planets probably trillions and trillions of miles away.
Going back to your music though, so you started when you were 11 years old, inspired by Eminem and your friend who's getting signed to Cactus Jack. That's Travis Scott's label, right?
Yep. He's already signed. He signed Tuesday or Monday, one of the two.
Oh, okay. That's dope, man. So yeah, you can look at him as inspiration. Do you have anybody else that like still inspires you in music today?
You know, some of my music friends. There's also, you know, Juice. I kind of inspire myself to be sort of like him. I also am, even though I don't really listen to him a lot, I'm also heavily inspired by Jay-Z, you know, based off, you know, the amount of money he's making and, you know, the amount of time he puts into his family and whatnot. I'm also very heavily inspired by Travis. You know, I think what Travis has done for Houston, and also what he's done for, you know, his daughter and just everybody around him it's just an inspirational thing, really, you know. And that's like something I admire. It's something I admire about a lot of artists nowadays is like they don't let, you know, money or any of that define them. but they use it to, define what they care about and their morals and whatnot. So it makes me just like really open my eyes and think, hey, you're not just a rich fucking scumbag. It's just, it's like, okay, you're a human, you have emotions.
That's good, man, that you recognize that and see that in other people, because I'm sure when you get to that same level, you probably do the same.
Probably.
Your album, it came out, what day did it come out?
It came out March 27th, 2nd.
March 22nd? Oh, okay.
It was on a Friday. It was on a Friday.
So it's been out for a while then, huh?
It's been out for almost 2 weeks, or past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So 2 Fridays ago.
Your old rap name used to be, I can never pronounce it correct, Gothion?
Gothine?
Gothine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my old one.
I used to always give you shit for that name, right? Because
I know.
It was hard to pronounce for me.
100%.
And we never talk like this, right?
You would be the only person that wouldn't pronounce it right. You'd be the only fucking person. I'd be like, damn. It's like, is that hard?
But do you like your current name, Stay2Quiet, better than your old one?
Yeah, I do like Stay2Quiet because, it's just simple. I think people are gonna like grasp onto it. It's probably gonna be around for a while.
I like it.
I have full confidence in this one.
If you don't like it and you don't believe in it yourself, why would anybody else, right?
Absolutely. Stay2Quiet performing tonight on the Jimmy Fallon show. Oh my God. Stay2Quiet arrested. Just all the headlines I can think of.
Yeah, right. How much of it will be real and how much of it will be made up?
I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna try my best not to fake anything, for any validation or success. But if my label or like my management at the time is like, hey, we gotta get you, some buzz.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, guess that's what I gotta do.
I was thinking about starting a label, man, or like a record company and signing artists, because I talk to a lot of artists on these podcast episodes, and I see a lot of talent, man. But yeah. I think the hardest thing for any artist or any creative like person doing any type of like entertainment, the hardest thing is to focus on the craft and then still have the time to and energy to promote yourself, right?
The hardest part is like promotion, because like nowadays you try to network and whatnot, but like every like supporter nowadays is basically a rapper. So basically, like if someone says, hey, I love your music, yada yada yada, and then you'll be like, oh, thanks, man, I really appreciate that. They'll be like, yo, thanks for responding, could you hop on my new song, yada yada yada, and they'll like have like the most shittiest fucking song known to fucking man. No disrespect. It's just like, man, you were showing love and now you want me to do this and that for you. Like, bro, like I'm not gonna give you my social security number or anything of that nature. So I appreciate the love, but man, I don't know you like that.
The more and more your name Stay2Quiet, gets big, it gets big and it gets out there, like you're gonna have more and more of like those kind of like people coming and asking you for favors, right?
It's just a part of it, Motherfuckers will look at you as like, oh, a liability. But I have a lot of self-tolerance and self-respect to the point where I'm not gonna, just give people what they want.
Yeah, me too, man. That's how I feel in the virtual streets, man. There's some motherfuckers that are liabilities, man.
Take full responsibility for that.
I wasn't talking about you, man. I was just fucking with you that day. You're talking about a wreck, right?
I am talking about a wreck, man. 29 points, man.
It ain't about the points though, man. I see the thing is I feel you though. I feel where you're coming from, man, because I was your age too once. How old are you now, man? 17. Yeah. When I was 17, I was like that too, man. I was like, shit, it's about getting buckets, man. Fuck the team. But as you get older, you get to my age, you're like, fuck, man. I see what the older people were trying to tell me, man. But when you're young and, young, dumb, and full of cum, as they say, like, And I don't hate on the youth though, because I used to be the youth. You know what I mean?
I hate on the fucking youth.
You
Fuck the
still are
youth.
the youth, man.
I fucking hate the youth, man. I hate me. You know, I hate people like me.
How can you
It's
win
kinda
if
weird.
you hate yourself though?
No, I don't really hate myself. I just hate the way, you know, the way my brain works, kind of, because I'm an overthinker. You know what I mean? So like, there's some days where I'm just like, you know what, I'm doing good, I'm calm, cool, collected, and then I'll think about something from like so fucking long ago and be like, man, I really did that. What could I have done better? Da 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 da.
We all do that
There's
though.
scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's normal, but it's just you have to be disciplined in your mind, in your thoughts, to say how long do I want to spend during my time awake thinking about something in the past that I can't change.
yeah,
I think if you focus more on you know, it's okay to have those thoughts, but if you forget them quickly and then just refocus your mind on today and what you need to do today to make tomorrow better, every time you have those negative thoughts that come into your mind, like filter it out quick and then move on to the current moment, and then what's going to help you for the future, and just focus on those. You know what I mean?
I've honestly just thought about, you know, like getting, not necessarily out, but like getting like friends and, you know, females and all that. Just put that shit to the side and just focus on networking. But it's kind of hard for me to just like transition to that. I want to have dedication, but it's hard whenever, you know, you still live a normal life.
But I think all the little things that it takes to make yourself successful, like if you don't have anybody that you can pay to do it, like you have to do it yourself. How would you describe your album We Won?
I would describe it, you know, like I just went through a breakup like 3 weeks ago, right? So, you know, I didn't want to be all sad about it. You know, I was sad, but I was mad. So that's the reason why I did Rage. Because I thought Rage just, you know, cultivated, you know, how I felt inside about, you know, the woman who I thought, you know, like it's the first woman I ever let meet my fucking mom. You know what I mean? She just does me fucking dirty like that. And, you know, she lied about a lot of fucking things. And, you know, I was very open about like my pain and my problems. And every time I tried to get her to, she would be like, I'm fine, I'm okay. And, you know, in the heat of the moment, we would have arguments and I wouldn't apologize right away, but then eventually I'd cool down and, you know, apologize. And then there's things that are just like, you know, I'd apologize for, you know, because, you know, arguments and whatnot. And then there would also be, I would tell her how things make me feel. And it would just be like, oh, okay, whatever. Instead of like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I can work on that for you. You know, it was basically just like a lack of communication. You know, I just kept getting mad and I kept getting over my head and aggressive towards her because she wouldn't, you know, open up to me. Mm-hmm. It made me feel like I did something wrong. Mm-hmm. And it was just very out of pocket, you know. She started talking to her ex, like, as friends or whatever. And, you know, I text her and she'd be like, oh, I'd be like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm talking to this guy. He's getting mad at 2K. Or he's getting mad at the game and it's so funny. And then, like, I'd just be like,
ain't nobody got time for that.
And she'll be like, oh, I don't want to talk to you right now. Or I don't feel like talking to anybody. And then she'll, like, be on FaceTime with somebody else. And it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. That breakup right there kind of inspired your sound on this new album, We Won?
Yeah. Plus, I was just very invested into the relationship, you know. I'm actually wearing the hoodie she bought me. I took her out and I got us matching outfits and, you know, got matching shoes and a bunch of other shit, you know. And I just never been that intimate with somebody, you know. Just like spending time with them, you know, letting them meet my mom. Mm-hmm. I was just heavily, you know, infatuated with everything this person did. And then they were obsessed with me. And then they got comfortable. I would say.
How did you meet her?
I met her through Instagram. It's a funny story though, because her dad, my mom treated him in rehab.
Your mom treated her dad in rehab?
Yeah, my mom works at the rehab that she went to, and her dad was enrolled into the rehab my mom worked at, and we noticed that my mom and her dad were mutual friends on Facebook.
How are you feeling today, though, man? You a little bit feeling better?
To be honest, I haven't really, thought much about her because not because I don't want to. It's just like I don't feel the need to like cry or get upset over somebody that doesn't want anything to do with me, really. I don't wish any harm towards her, but I do wish that she does get an eye opener and realizes that human emotions matter and not just yours. And if you're going to be in an intimate relationship with somebody, you have to care about other people's wants and needs. And there's sometimes where I don't, and I forget my pride, and I forget my boundaries and whatnot.
Some of that's just pride and ego too, right?
I get over my head sometimes, but I don't think that me and her will ever reconcile again. We've tried multiple times, and it's just to the point where I just there'd be things I'd apologize for, right? I genuinely apologize for them, and then next thing you know, next time we have an argument, she'll bring them up just to make me feel bad. So like I get it, like it still affects you, but like just bringing that up just so you can win a fucking argument is kind of like really aggressive.
It's heartless, man. Like The Weeknd said, it's heartless. The Weeknd makes a lot of good tracks for like people that are going through like relationship issues, right? I
love The Weeknd, man. Very talented artist. Very, emotional. I could name so many songs that I'm in love with. And, so many songs that I can relate to. It's just amazing, like how much impact he has into the industry, basically.
Is some of your songs inspired by The Weeknd, like his sound?
100%, probably. And I have no shame about it, because Weeknd's next fucking Michael Jackson, arguably.
What song on your album We Won kind of really shows like your emotions on how you're feeling about your current breakup?
I would say Be That Guy, Rehab, We Do, Ace of Spades. There's just a lot. It's not like the sole purpose of those songs, but there's like little hints. Like in Ace of Spades, it's like I said a line in the verse. It was like, try to come back like 100 times. I know that shit don't work. I know that shit is haunted. I know that shit is a curse. That kind of had reference to that. Be That Guy. If you look at the lyrics are in the description, actually.
Oh, okay.
It basically shows everything. That song's basically about it. Because, some people just drop the album for the fuck of it. This album, I really cared about it. And, it made me, like, open my eyes a little bit about, like, hey, maybe I should put some meaning into this because it means so much to me. And, I'm getting to that age. So I'm like, this is the time to start giving a fuck.
How did you hook up with your producers?
My producers, let's start off with Foreign Boy, BB Demons. Chris, me and Chris, some BB Demons. You already knew that shit though when we walk in the function. That's Chris. Chris that's his real name, Foreign Boy. I've known him for 2 years, since 2019. Great fucking guy. Love that guy to fucking death. Love that man like he's my own fucking blood. I've had so many good songs with him, so many bad songs with him. I've been through hell and back when it comes to my music career with him. I don't even look at him as a producer. I look at him as like, my fucking right hand man, so to speak. He is just too humble to me, too kind, too generous, and I love him for that. He's fucking amazing. Even though he doesn't follow me back on Instagram, Chris, if you're watching this, you're a bitch. Follow me back. But besides that, he's a great guy. Great guy.
Right on. So you're talking about Foreign Boy, right?
Foreign Boy, yes. The guy that produced Gango, BB Demons, probably another one on there. I just can't think of them.
Yeah, those are good beats. I like those. I like the first the beats on Ace of Spades too. That was produced by Sizzy.
Sizzy, man, Sizzy. I don't know much about Sizzy. I DM'd him on Instagram. He likes the songs that I put out. You know, he's a big fan of Surge. So when I got Surge on that song called "We Do," he fucking lit up. And you know, I told him, you know, I texted him and I said, I really like you as a producer, and you're an amazing and talented individual. And all I got was like a double tap on Instagram, like no reply. So I don't really have like a good relationship with that guy, but I love his beats and I love what he's doing. So that's all I can say about that.
When you're doing that, like, how do you put the track together? So they send you the beat, and then and then you rap over it, and then you send them your vocals back, or how does that work?
I mix my own vocals.
Oh, okay. Talk
It's
about
hard
that.
to explain. So like I use the software FL Studio. What I do is I take the MP3 file for the beat, I drag it up, and then I just fucking record. And then next thing you know, I apply my own preset. I'm basically an engineer. I apply my preset, see how it sounds and whatnot. I chop it up, you know, take out the parts of me breathing like a fat ass fucking hippo. And you know, I just, and then you know, I just work with that, work my magic, and there it is. That's how it's created.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. The production is good. I like it. Like how it's mixed and meshed together, because I think there's some young artists that are coming up in the game that are trying to make their own music, and like sometimes if they don't have access to like mix and mastering, or they don't have someone to do it for them, like it might not come out as clean as how your sound came out.
Fellow artists out there, you know, I know it sucks, but you got to pay to play. It's just how it is. You can't just like wake up one day and you're like, oh, I'm a rapper. You may think in your head that you're a rapper, but you're not a fucking rapper. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of patience. There's a lot of times in my career where I didn't have any patience whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could tell this album right here, you put some time and effort and energy and thought into it. I was feeling it. It's like I told you, it sounds like a complete body of work, from how the producers were chosen on it. You have like a few, like 3 to 4, I think, different producers, and they all, their sounds complement like your vocals and stuff, I think. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good body of work. I'm glad I gave it a chance and listened to it.
I'm glad you did too, and I'm glad you like it. It wasn't even my intention, you know, to have the same amount of producers on that. But, you know, like, I have like at least like 50 unreleased songs. You know, I just picked 11 of them that, you know, I loved, and basically worked my magic on them, you know. Plus, I got there's presets, you know, basically how they make your vocals sound. So basically, I got this new preset, and I love that preset more than I do the other ones. So the other songs that I have my old preset on it, where I sound like absolute fucking terrible, you know. So those songs will probably never be released, and if they do, it won't be on my main SoundCloud.
What is your SoundCloud that people can find you on now?
SoundCloud.com/Stay2Quiet.
I think this body of work right here deserves heavier promotion, man. And I feel like if you have to pay to put it on like Apple Music or Spotify, I feel like you should do it.
I don't know how much it is, but I'm thinking about putting it on Rap's Instagram page. You know,
whose Instagram page?
Rap. You know, the at Rap. You know, the people that talk about, you know, that report everything, and they always talk about, they're like, y'all rocking with this artist or something, or y'all rocking with da 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 da. Yeah, they have over 7 million on IG, and they're heavily into the rap game and whatnot. And they have a large following, so it'll probably work out for me.
Oh, but they charge people to promote though.
Yeah, they charge people to promote. You know, it's just how it is. You know, and I wish I could, you know, Depending on how much it is, I might look into it.
Yeah.
It might help me out a lot. I don't know, man. Or maybe I'll buy some Instagram ad promotion. Whatever. Just is working with my budget. Whatever's fun.
Yeah, I think definitely if you get it on like YouTube, that would be a good thing. That way we can like put them on the live stream like a little bit more easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can hype up your tracks a little bit.
Yeah, I can probably do that.
That's just time and energy. But if you
energy.
Yeah, if you have the time and you have the energy, I think it'll be good for your career. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because like I said, a lot of times you have to do the work yourself. If you don't have people that can do it for you, you got to tell your manager to step her game up, man.
She does a good job. It's just like, she just started becoming my manager about 2 months ago. So kind of, getting a feel for, what's best for me and, what I want out of her and whatnot. Not that way, but we're just, getting to know, what we need to do in order for my image to be where I need it to be.
Yeah. It takes time. I think if you keep searching and keep looking every day and then taking proactive steps to get your name out there every day.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the hard part. I think the easy part for you is making music, right? Like that's
100%.
That's the stuff you like love doing, but who really likes to promote their own shit, right?
Exactly. It gets tiring, because then you'll see it and then you'll be like, why is it not doing how I want it?
I guess then you have to look at how you measure success, right? Like, I think the numbers are the numbers, but if you have like one person that you helped in life and that you inspired, I feel like you're successful.
Absolutely. But who knows, maybe a year from now, I have like 6 different managers or something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a manager for each aspect: promotion, business, touring, advertising, marketing. List goes on and on.
Yeah.
I have my own stylist and shit.
Mm-hmm. Like, where do you see yourself like in the future with your music? Like, how long do you think you can keep going for?
I can keep going for about 3 or 4 years, and then, depending on if I blessed, like if I'm doing good, I could probably go 15 years. But I'm gonna give it about 4 or 5 more years. If I see nothing improving, I'll probably just go into real estate or something like that. Start wholesaling or something.
Mm-hmm. You got to be hungry, man. Like if it's your career that you're fighting for and you wanna like make it big, quote unquote, like you have to like I think go for it like your life depended on it.
Yeah. Right now I'm hungry. I'm young, an animal. So it's probably the best time for me. Plus I gotta start emailing A&Rs of record labels and shit. And I also gotta get emails of promotions and whatnot. Just email them all.
Mm-hmm.
Contact them, be like, be different than the other people that are sending their music in. Be like, hello, I'm Shaine. I go by Stay2Quiet. The reason why I'm contacting you today is because I know that your opinion is heavily, impacted within the industry.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Since you have to do all the stuff yourself, I feel like if you do a little bit every day, like it's going to add up to something in the long run, right? Versus if you just have those thoughts inside your head and you never take action on them, then the years can go by and not a lot of forward movement is going to take place. But if you act on it a little bit, for example, say, all right, today's what day is it today? Today's Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I'm going to set time to message A&Rs and record companies as much as I can until I get tired. It's better than like watching X Hamster live, right? You could you could switch it up and spend your time doing that. And then Thursday you can say, all right, if I don't feel like doing A&R stuff, I'm gonna go on Instagram and just kind of like promote my music, like message people that I like and are interested in working with, or like they look like they will hear my music. You just like tap in with them, right? And then try to make a connection.
Yeah.
For a couple hours on Thursday, and then Friday you could say, fuck it, I'll just create more music, or write more music. Just being disciplined, having a schedule in your mind and staying disciplined to your schedule.
Yeah, possibly. I think it's, I was earlier this morning, 2:00 in the morning, I was watching your interview with some guy, I don't know. And he was like, the main problem with people is that you'll have the best song in the world. It's just you don't know how to network it or market it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he was. He was just like black and he was missing his front tooth, but he seemed like a cool guy. So I was like,
Yeah, that's Dr. Bombay. He's been locked up in prison for the last 21 years.
Has he now?
Yeah, he put out an album he recorded an album called Coming Up in the Game in like 1995. And then he went to prison in 1999. And then the album got released while he was in prison on the underground. There's like cassette tapes and stuff for it. And so he never really saw like the fruits, or he never really like saw the success of it, when since he's been locked up. But he's getting ready to come out, but he has a lot of good knowledge and information about like the music game, because he used to be in it heavy, before he got locked up. But what if some young kids listened to your music and they heard something from your lyrics and it inspired them or influenced them to do something, and later they came back and were like, yo, we only did it because we were listening to Stay2Quiet. How would you feel?
Yeah, there was actually a very controversial thing that happened on Snapchat. I posted this on Instagram as well. It said, I said, bitches got wet pussy, brothers got thick blood. Remember that. And she thought I was being sexist. I didn't explain the whole meaning. She's seen the word bitches and she's seen the word brothers. What I meant by bitches got wet pussy and brothers got thick blood. One of my bros was talking to this one of our bros chick while they were together. So, hence the phrase, bitches got wet pussy, bros got thick blood, man. You choose your liquid.
You said thick blood?
Yeah, thick blood, like as in, people got thick blood, like people that ride for you, they got loyalty for you, thick blood, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And the girl thought I was being sexist. Explained it to her, and she screenshotted it. I guess she's gonna go send that to her little group chat or whatever.
Yeah. Are you afraid of like getting like negative criticism, or do you stand by everything you say?
Depending on how much negative criticism it is. So, like if it's just like somebody that's like, oh, I don't like this fucking guy. As far as like everybody like hating me, I'd probably like publicly apologize for it, or I'd defend myself, or I'd probably go back and educate myself on what I did and how wrong it was. I'm a guy that doesn't, like avoid,
confrontation.
Failure. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I've made mistakes in my past. I'm not proud of them. I think everybody has. I'm afraid, eventually my mistakes will resurface through the internet when I do become famous. And, I'm very regretful of those. And I'm not proud of the way I handled them, and I wish I had a time machine I can go back. But, sometimes you just can't go back. That's kind of just like how it is. I hope I'm not like, on that Trisha Paytas hate level.
Who is that?
I don't know. It's like some girl in David Dobrik's vlogs. She used to be in David Dobrik's vlogs. And then she got canceled or something.
What do you think about like TikTok? Did you see they were trying to cancel Eminem?
I think that's pretty fucking irate. Eminem's been pissing people off for like 20 fucking years. You're gonna try to cancel him now? I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's just gonna bring more fuel. I think that's just gonna make him want to piss you off more. Because of how soft and how much of a bitch you are. It's just how it is.
I think, sometimes cancel culture, it gets taken too far, right?
Yeah, man. Like as far as like canceling, like pedophiles, drug abusers, just criminals or rapists. That's great. But like canceling someone because they said like a fucking word, like a long ass fucking time ago, the N word, just like a bunch of fucking like don't get me wrong, saying those words, pretty controversial. But like if it's from like a long time ago, and you could tell like they're young, and they were just like just living life. They didn't care about like rules or ultimatums or anything like that. They weren't educated upon that. Don't cancel them for it, because they already have to deal with it when every time they search their name and they see that.
I think in order for you or any artist that's like listening is for them to understand that whatever they put out in the public can and will be used against them, right? In a court of law. Therefore, whatever you say, you should be willing to stand by.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, the creator, said he raped a pregnant bitch and had and called it a threesome.
Yeah.
He probably was joking. People didn't like that. They were like, "This is the guy you guys listen to." Like the girls were like, "This is the guy you listen to." Fuck yeah, this is the guy I fucking listen to. Love this guy, man.
That's how I feel about your music too, man. When I listen to it, I'm like, man, this guy's saying some shit I like. You gotta just make a song about it, like Eminem used to do about his ex-wife, right?
Fucking what's her fucking name? Debbie or some fucking bullshit.
That was his mom, but Kim.
Oh, how could I fucking forget Kim? Fuck Kim, man.
There was something in BB Demons. There was a line that you said. You said something about like staying patient, right, and just working. Was that BB Demons?
Yeah. Now I reminisce about it. I said, "Oh Shaine, you're great, man. I want to hop on the train, man. Boy, you too fucking late, man. I'ma blow up. Just wait, man. All it takes is a little bit of that patience." So yeah, I think that's the line you're referring to.
Yep.
Right there.
Damn, you speak a lot
That
of
was
truth.
the closing line to the chorus.
Yeah, I like that. Cause
I was kind of mimicking someone, like talking about like, "Oh Shaine, you're great, man. I want to hop on the train, man." I was like, "Boy, you're too fucking late. Like, go try to hop on somebody else, man."
Yeah.
Too late, man.
I like that. That's some real shit.
Yeah, it's a chance.
Stay2Quiet speaks the truth.
That's my main goal, is just to inspire people, just have like, people that I can care about, and let them know that, whatever situation they go through, they're not alone in it. I can try to relate the best I can to it. It's not something where, I'm going to discourage you for, how you were,
mm-hmm.
and, how you are, or whatever you've done. I just accept you for who you are, because you accept me for who I am.
I respect that, man. We need to see your album, man, on YouTube, Apple Music, and Spotify, man. Do you know how to upload it yourself?
Yeah, I know how to upload it myself. The problem is, like, basically, like, I logged out of my thing, and then I logged back in, and then it tells me that I don't have the thing that I paid for. Like, I paid $7.50 a month, basically $90. I paid for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm supposed to have 48 hours. I can release a song and it'll be up in 48 hours, or I also get paid weekly. But it told me that I didn't pay for that because I logged out and then I logged back in, like, because it didn't save my information. So, I contacted them about it and I showed them proof of the transaction. But that was on Instagram. Their Instagram DMs are probably flooded. I'll probably have to hit them up through their support email.
Mm-hmm.
And once I did that, it'll probably be good. But I just haven't had time or something. So I'm probably going to make some time for that.
Yeah, man. I think you should. I think that would be good. Because, like,
yeah,
I feel like your music is good to where the more platforms you can put it on, especially like some of the bigger platforms like Apple Music and Spotify, it'll be easier to promote too. You know what I mean? So cause not too many people, like I think mainstream people, they be checking on SoundCloud, right? Like underground cats, they respect the SoundCloud. A lot of great artists have come out of SoundCloud in the past.
You see, the thing that happened was like underground was really like the wave. Like it was getting more views than mainstream people.
Uh-huh.
And then like they started promoting their shit on meme pages, and then the record labels caught on. So then they started buying meme pages. So now everything's not really organic anymore.
Oh, okay.
Meme pages were like the top thing to go promote your shit on, and then the label caught on to it. Kind of like how that Omar guy that does Sports Center, he owned House of Highlights, and he sold it.
Oh, okay, I see. But I think, yeah, definitely if you take the time to like make that phone call to like customer support and tell them your situation, explain it to them, and then you start getting your music back up there on Apple Music and Spotify, like it'll be good.
I also think so too. I'm proud of the music I'm doing. I just really got to work on marketing and network, and, connecting.
Yeah. I think that'll help, man, because if you believe in your music, then you'll do anything, right, to get it out there to the world. And
110%.
I think nobody else will do that for you unless they're probably getting paid. So if you don't have the finances to pay somebody, you got to do that shit yourself.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I don't have the finances for that shit.
Yeah. So therefore your time becomes more important than money, right? Because that's all you got. If you don't have money, all you got is time.
Absolutely.
I think if I had like millions of dollars, I'd probably still eat at McDonald's just because I like it.
Fucking McDonald's is the shit, bro.
If you have Chinese food, you know it's gonna be a good day.
Never tried Chinese.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they probably have like Panda Express or like some Chinese restaurants in
Murray, They have a
Kentucky,
place called August Moon here.
Get you some egg rolls, man. I think you'll like those.
I'll make sure they're burnt.
I like that. Let's end that on that note. Oh, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
I want to give a shout out to, God. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I want to give a shout out to Tony. I want to give a shout out to, Chris, foreign boy. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to my brothers and my grandmothers. I want to give a shout out to, everybody in my life that got me to the point where I am today. You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to all the P.V.R LYFE fans supporting dude, even though he went from being called P.V.R LYFE to a burnt fucking egg roll. Still support him though.
Appreciate it, man.
Shout out to your manager.
Do you want to give any fuck yous to anybody?
Fuck my principal. If my principal sees this, man, I just respectfully don't like you. Me saying fuck you is kind of me being fucking immature, so I'll say this respectfully. My principal, I'm not going to say your name because you'll try to get me with social media harassment, try to give me a charge or something. But I strongly dislike you, and I dislike the way that you treat people.
Right on. All right, Shaine, I appreciate your time, man, and I appreciate you explaining your album.
Thank you, man. Highly appreciate it for you finally letting the universe take over.
It takes time. It all takes time. It's a never-ending process. Me and you, we keep evolving as time goes by, but the grind don't stop till the casket drop. You know that.
Tell them, man. Grind don't stop till the casket drop. It's your boy, the Burnt Egg Roll, a.k.a. Yellow Jesus, a.k.a. No Chains.
Eat some good food, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
You already know. I'll be eating good.
Get you some Chinese food.
It probably won't be today, but it will be one day.
For sure. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Later, Roach.
All right, now get your ass in the car.
No relation to Freddie Roach.
You already know, man.
All right. Peace, man.
Later, man.
All right.
Peace out.
All right, thanks.